I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Quick meeting,
All roll.
Councilman Poole?
Here.
Councilman Cotton?
Here.
Councilman Littles? Councilman Watson?
Here.
Councilman Barton?
Here.
Mayor Lovelace?
Here.
Quorum is
Approval of the
present.
Last meeting minutes.
We have a motion that we approve of minutes of the last meeting.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Watson, seconded by Councilman Barton to approve. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes. Minutes are approved.
I'd like to welcome our visitors today. I appreciate y'all coming on a out of schedule on a Tuesday. We'll get back on our normal schedule next meeting. Approval of the agenda.
Copy of the agenda is up on the wall for the audience, and the council has a copy. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? All in favor of the agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Agenda is approved as presented.
Under old business, recommendation for library board vacancy, Councilman Poole.
Mayor, the committee wants to recommend that the current position held by Mr. Garrity, we just go ahead and renew him for another term.
Second.
That's in the form of a motion.
Form of the motion.
That's in the form of a motion.
Okay.
Have a
Second.
motion by Councilman Poole, seconded by Councilman Watson for Mr. Garrity. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yeah.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes.
And we have two school board vacancies. Call on Councilman Cotton.
Fred's gonna go ahead now.
Councilman Barton.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to thank the panelists who came out to interview with us for the two positions on the school board. We had 7 members. Each one of those members was overly qualified, we thought. So the process of selecting 2 school board members was extremely hard. And the vote was not unanimous, but we did. I wish we had 7 positions. However, we only had 2. So let me tell you who those 2 are. To replace Ms. Lily Dove, we have Regina Watson, and that term expires 5/26 of 2015. The second vacancy was filled, Tara Niels was filled by Mark Manning. His term is 5/23 of 17. Again, I'd like to thank all those panelists who came out to interview with us, and I make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Barton, seconded by Councilman Cotton for
I got
Mr.
unrated, John. He's combining both names for the nomination. My wife is one of the names he put on it also. I want to abstain from one. Could I abstain from, I got to abstain from both of them now, since it's in the form of that
Okay,
motion?
would you like to amend the motion to go one name at a time?
Yeah.
Yes,
mind.
yes,
Okay.
let's do that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
for Ms. Watson, the motion is amended by Councilman Barton, seconded by Councilman Cotton. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Abstain.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion still passes. Mr. Manning?
I recommend that Mr. Manning be placed on the school board to finish out Mr. Terrell Neal's term.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Barton, seconded by Councilman Cotton, again for Mr. Manning. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yeah.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes.
John, I'd like to say something real quick on that. I'd like to thank the council, this is the first time they ever done that, by actually interviewing the people that provide for the positions. And I think that's something you look at in the future, when we bring up people for board.
I was
positions.
present at the interviews. I didn't sit in there with them, but I was the usher, and I think it went
I think it
tremendously
Councilman
well.
Barton, I think it worked just real well. I'd like to commend the guys on that, the council on that.
Agreed.
Thank you, Councilman Watson.
Calling city clerk for the John L. Fisher excess declaration order.
We talked about the John L. Fisher lease, which was approved for negotiation at the last meeting, and one thing we did not do, because it was kind of up in the air, was actually declare that excess as we did with the Burnt Corn Creek property we're allowing another agency to use. So what we'd like to do is present this ordinance here, actually declaring an excess and allowing John L. Fisher to continue their negotiation for the lease with some in-kind items, as you can see, specifically A, to be at least 5 years. So what I'd like to do is introduce this in the beginning, and I recommend immediate consideration tonight.
Okay. I'd like to introduce ordinance number 131112.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Watson, a second by Councilman Barton to introduce. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes. It's introduced.
Immediate consideration of ordinance number ordinance number 131112.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Watson, a second by Councilman Barton for immediate consideration. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Mayor Lovelace?
Yes.
Motion's unanimous. What's your desires?
Motion of approval of ordinance number 131112.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Watson, second by Councilman Barton to approve. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes and ordinance will be published.
Next would be approval of the November 2013 accounts payable.
Make a motion to pay our bills.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Barton, second by Councilman Watson to approve the accounts payable. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes. Accounts payable will be executed.
Next, three items I call the city clerk.
For those of you council members who have been here, you know, every year we sign this municipal workers' comp premium discount guideline, and it consists of 3 items. It's drug and alcohol testing, establishing a medical protocol, and checking people's driver's license once a year to make sure that there's nothing in their record that would exclude them from having a driving position. Now, oddly enough, that 10% discount, which has jumped up 1% from last year, means real money and can be up to $70,000 in premium savings. So what I'd like to do is get the council's permission to have the mayor sign that. I'll sign as the safety officer, and we'll have this in by December 1st and continue our discount.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Barton, second by Councilman Cotton to approve. Any discussion? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes, and we'll sign the workplace guidelines. This one is kind of a surprise. We received an agreement from Aldott, Dwayne's Hood's bunch, for a new signal emplacement. And if you can picture where the McClellan Street crosses Sowell and then goes over to St. Joseph, that little crossing there is actually going to have a lighted, armed signal there.
Man, needed that.
Yes.
But in exchange, we need to pass a resolution for the maintenance. It's the maintenance of the markings and the signs, not the signal itself, but the paint and the signs, which is generally what we do for the other crossings. So I recommend, unless there's any question, that this be approved.
Make a motion to approve number
Second.
13-1112.
Have a
Second.
motion by Councilman Cotton, second by Councilman Barton to approve. Any discussion?
I'd like to say that we went back to Aldott and requested their consideration to put crossings there at Mildred Street and St. Joseph, where we've been having those wrecks. Not only did they turn us down, they basically said in their letter that they had no plans in the future to do anything different than what was there. So I contacted the representative, Alan Baker, and brought it to his attention, who is discussing it with ALDOT. But I don't expect them to change anytime soon on their position, because they say they've already addressed it and have spent money there, and the crossing arms wouldn't prevent those actions. And they're probably correct, and those accidents aren't happening from trains hitting them, it's from those trucks flipping over because the road falls away from those tracks.
Well, I'd add something. You know, we're talking about, we got the crossing at East Street. They can put it at McClellan. We need to talk with ALDOT or CSX about going south on South Road. There you got that big ditch. There used to be little metal barriers up there now. A good hard rain or real dark, if the light is bad, I'm afraid somebody will go off in that ditch eventually. We need to really look at that, since we got to put this crossing on up here and one here, and in between there, you still got a hazard that going down that road there on your left. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. I was just trying to thank you for those A-trip funds. Could we address that
That's a
there?
good
We'll see.
question. Okay.
Any further discussion? We do have a motion. Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes. And it's time once again for the now fiscal year 14 Airport Improvement Program application. The current thought is to request $102,150 for the improvement of drainage at the airport and also backup generation for the fuel lighting and the electrical building next to the lounge. Out of that $102,150, 5,675 would come from the state, 5,675 would come from local. It requires a resolution to the state saying we would pledge our portion of the local funds. So this grant actually would cost the airport $5,675, and I recommend that it be signed.
I have a motion to approve resolution number 13-1112-1.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Watson, second by Councilman Cotton to approve. Any discussion?
John, on the generators, would you elaborate again on the generators? Weren't they replaced not too long ago?
The Navy actually put that generator out, and it's only for their crash building. They didn't bother to tell us they were going to put a generator there, because I would have put a transfer switch on that electrical building, which they did not do. So it's underpowered.
Mm-hmm.
This would put a generator out there which would run that electrical building, part of the lounge, the field lighting, which is in that electrical building, and the beacon.
Okay.
I don't know what kind, propane or whatever, that remains to be seen.
Okay.
Any other questions? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes. Well, I had this color, but the color kind of went away.
The next item is for acquisition of from real estate in the Alco area, which John will discuss with us.
It's gonna be this area here, where you can see the light all along here. And it's gonna be where you see the X's here. And this road is just hashed out for clarity. Just look at the parcels here. I have a color version if you'd like to take a look at it.
Plus the light is,
plus the lake, yeah, of course. Well, not of course, but that's, yes, the lake too.
That's okay, John.
As you can see, it adjoins the park in the bottom part of that sketch.
Okay, the total for this, if there's no further questions, there is a resolution to authorize this. See, the total is 15,866. And you could see with 10 coming forth whenever I'm not quite sure of the wording, title search or whatever let's say title searches, title claims on the Xed out parcels are, and then the remaining money sometime in the spring. Well, it says on or before February 10th, but that's spring, close enough.
You need an approval on this?
Please,
I make a motion to approve number
Second.
13-1112-2.
have a motion by Councilman Cotton, second by Councilman Barton. Any discussion?
Yes, if we once we buy this lake, I guess we call it be a city lake, when we stock it.
Stock it.
Yeah, it's fish. And why you gonna buy a lake you can't use it?
I would say yes. The
I
whole
hope
thing is
we-
about fishing it.
Yeah, it's about fishing. I mean, we'll stock it, you know what I'm saying?
There may be a 52 Ford in the bottom of that thing. We don't know.
Well, that's how you can find out about fishing. You hook it, pull it in, John. That's all the discussion, John.
Okay. Anything else? Councilman Poole?
Yes.
Councilman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes. We'll execute the document.
Based on the title search.
Yes.
Right. Call the city clerk, the last two items.
If the mayor has no announcements, I have no announcements, nor do I have any comments from the public at this time.
Make a motion to
Adjourn.
adjourn.